I mostly read public domain books here on Glenn Reads Books to You, and they were written a long time ago, so they're usually racist, or sexist, or bigoted, but in there somewhere is a story, and that's why those stories are famous. Other times, I read works from independent authors, and they're delightfully not racist, but they might have adult language or adult situations, like, making sex. So that's your warning, but I'm sure you're grown up enough to handle it. Don't write to me complaining. Well, there! I fixed it myself. I never needed a physical therapist to begin with. My knees are foul, son of a... All right, take a seat, you little idiot. I was just reflecting on the fact that I solved my own knee problem. I've been going to a physical therapist that says, do these leg exercises. You got to build up the muscles in your buttocks and on your thighs, and then that way it's going to take the pressure off your knees. Well, I've been doing it for months, and nothing is changing. It's just as bad as it always was. And so then Bethany, the physical therapist, says, here, tape up your legs. If you tape up your legs, then you can, your kneecap won't slide around. That's the problem to begin with. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I tape up my legs, and then, you put a little piece of tape on the bottom of your kneecap, because that way it doesn't go down or something. And I'm like, okay, well, things still suck. My knees still hurt all the time. I hate being old. And then the other day I realized, what if I taped the top part of my kneecap so it doesn't rise up? Oh my God, it made all the difference in the world. So I've been looking into schools for knee therapy. I basically want to get Bethany fired and take her position. I think she's useless. Welcome to the Glenn Reads Books to You mansion. It's a fun little bit where I pretend to live in a mansion and not just recording in my basement. This is where I read the hottest public domain books and short stories. This week we're going to read The Triumphs of a Taxidermist by H.G. Wells. Burp, want to learn about the author? No, I hope so, because I stole this from Wikipedia. Herbert George Wells was born the 21st of September, 1866, and died the 13th of August, 1946. He was an English writer, prolific in many genres. He wrote more than 50 novels and dozens of short stories. His nonfiction output included works of social commentary, politics, history, popular science, satire, biography, and autobiography. Wells's science fiction novels are so well regarded that he's been called the father of science fiction. You want to hear some fun facts I stole from mentalfloss.com? Sure, don't worry, I'm not going to fart like the last episode. It was a little bit. My wife said, make an episode where you fart a lot. So I did, and then I listened to it, and it was unlistenable. I don't think anyone would enjoy that. If anyone listens to the show, and they actually like it, they're not going to like that one, because I was listening to it, I'm like, this is unlistenable. I can't go through this bullshit. He was married twice and had many affairs. Wells married his cousin, Isabel Mary Smith, in 1891, and they divorced 3 years later. And in 1895, the author married his former student. This is gross. Your cousin, now a former student. Amy Catherine Robbins, and called her Jane, with whom he had 2 children. He fathered 2 further children during affairs with writers Amber Reeves and Rebecca West. He also had relationships with novelists Elizabeth von Arnhem, and birth control activist Margaret Sanger, writer Odette Kuhn, and suspected spy Baroness Mora Bugberg. Okay, well, that's Grandfather Clock telling me to shut up. Why don't we go down to the library and not fart and read this story? Here I come, walking with beautifully healthy legs, because I solved it myself. I'm going to college to learn the science of knees. Why don't you take a little seat, get yourself comfortable. You're going to have to move all the books about knees off the chair. Yeah, there you go. Now just sit down. There you go. The Triumphs of a Taxidermist by H.G. Wells. Here are some of the secrets of taxidermy. They were told to me by the taxidermist in a mood of elation. How he told me them in a time between the first glass of whiskey and the fourth. Yeah, when a man is no longer cautious and not yet drunk. We sat in his den together. His library it was, his sitting and his eating room, separated by a bead curtain, so far as the sense of sight went, from the noisome den where he plied his trade. He sat on a deck chair, and when he was not tapping refractory bits of coal with them, he kept his feet, on which he wore, after the manner of sandals, the holy relics of a pair of carpet slippers. Out of the way upon the mantelpiece among the glass eyes, gross, and his trousers, by the by, though they have nothing to do with his triumphs, were a most horrible yellow plaid, such as they made when our fathers wore side whiskers and were the crinklings in the land. I'm not looking that up. Further, his hair was black, his face rosy, and his one eye, a fiery brown, and his coat was chiefly of grease upon a basis of velveteen. And his pipe had a bowl of china showing the graces, and his spectacles were always askew, and his left eye glaring nakedly at you, small and penetrating, the right seen through a glass darkly magnified and mild. Thus his discourse ran. There never was a man who could stuff like me. Bellows, never. I've stuffed elephants, and I've stuffed moths, tiny little moths, and things have looked all the livelier and better for it. And I have stuffed human beings, chiefly amateur ornithologists, but I have stuffed but I have stuffed an N -- once, which I imagine is the racial term, but gross. At least this website that I'm reading the story from, libraryofshortstories.com, took the bad word out for me so I don't have to catch myself. But okay, that's disturbing. So he stuffed a person. Okay, great. No, there's no law against it. I made him with all his fingers out and used him as a hat rack. Oh my God, this is terrible already. But that fool Hornsby got up a quarrel with him late one night and spoiled him. Oh, that was before your time. It's hard to get skins, or I would have another. Unpleasant? I don't see it. Seems to me taxidermy is a promising third course of burial or cremation. You can keep all your dear ones by you. Bric-a-brac of that sort stuck about the house would be as good as most company and much less expensive. You might have them fitted up with clockwork to do things. Gross. This is all gross. I hate taxidermy to begin with. My cousin, as a joke, got me a book of bad taxidermy, and I never realized I want to throw up at the concept of stuffed animals, like not stuffed animals, but like actual animals that have been stuffed, until I read that book. When I looked at that book, I'm like, so I still have the book, but I hide it away because I can't look at it. It's disgusting. Definitely can't eat breakfast while reading that thing. Of course, they have to be varnished, but they need not shine more than lots of people do naturally. Old Manning Tree's bald head. Anyhow, you could talk to them without interruption. Even aunts. There's a great future before taxidermy. Depend upon it, there is fossils again. He suddenly became silent. No, I don't think I ought to tell you that. He sucked at his pipe, thoughtfully. Thanks, yes, not too much water. Of course, what I tell you now will go no further. You know I have made some dodos and a great auk. No, evidently you are an amateur at taxidermy, my dear fellow. Half of the great auks in the world are about as genuine as the handkerchief of St. Veronica. As the holy coat of Treves. We make of greaves, feathers and the like, and the great auk's eggs too. Good heavens, yes. We make them out of porcelain. Now, I tell you it's worthwhile. They fetched L300. I don't know, British money. Only the other day. That one was really genuine, I believe, but of course, one is never certain. Oh, it is very fine work. Oh, and afterwards, you have to get them dusty, for no one who owns one of these precious eggs has ever the temerity to clean the thing. That's the beauty of the business. Even if they suspect an egg, they do not like to examine it too closely. Oh, it's such brittle capital at the best. You did not know that taxidermy rose to heights like that, my boy. It has risen higher. Oh, I've rivaled the hands of nature herself. What are the genuine great auks? I don't know what an auk is. Should I look it up? I try not to look up things anymore because it always wastes my time. It's a family of birds. This is why I don't look up stuff anymore. All right. One of the genuine great auks, his voice fell to a whisper, one of the genuine great auks was made by me. No, you must not study ornithology and find out which is it yourself. And what is more, I have been approached by a syndicate of dealers to stock one of the unexplored skerries to the north of Iceland with specimens. I may, someday. But I have another little thing in hand just now. Ever heard of the Dornis? Diornis? Not looking it up because it keeps wasting time. It's one of those big birds recently extinct in New Zealand. Moa is its common name, so called because extinct. There is no moa now. See, they've got bones of it, and from some of the marshes, even feathers and dry bits of skin. Now, I'm going to, there is no need to make any bones about it. I'm going to forge a complete stuffed moa. I know a chap out there who will pretend to make the find in a kind of antiseptic swamp and say he stuffed it at once as it threatened to fall to pieces. The feathers are peculiar, but I have got a simply lovely way of dodging up singed bit of ostrich plume. Yes, this is the new smell you noticed. They can only discover the fraud with a microscope. And they will hardly care to pull out a nice specimen of bits for that. In this way, you see, I give my little push in the advancement of science. But all this is merely imitating nature. I have done more than that in my time. I've beaten her. Well, he took his feet down from the mantelboard and leant over confidentially toward me. I've created birds, he said in a low voice. New birds. Improvements. Like no birds that has ever been seen before. He resumed his attitude during an impressive silence. Enrich the universe, rather. Some of the birds I have made were new kinds of hummingbirds, Oh, I have very beautiful little things, but some of them were simply rum. The rummiest, I think, was the, Anamorpalatrix jejuna. Jejunus empty, so-called because there was really nothing in it. I thoroughly empty bird, except the stuffing. Old Javers has the thing now, and I suppose he's almost as proud of it as I am. It's a masterpiece, Bellows. It has all the silly clumsiness of your pelican, and all the solemn want of dignity of your parrot, all the gaunt ungangliness of a flamingo, with all the extravagant, chromatic conflict of a mandrake duck. Oh, such a bird. I made out of the skeletons of a stork and a toucan and a job of feathers. Taxidermy of that kind was just pure joy, Bellows, to a real artist in the art. How did I come to make it? Simple enough. As all great inventions are, one of these young genii who write us science notes in the papers got hold of a German pamphlet about birds of New Zealand and translated some of it by means of a dictionary and his mother wit. Oh, he must have been one of a very large family with a small mother, and he got mixed between the living Apertix and the extinct Anomalatrix. And talked about the bird 5 feet high living in the jungles of Northern Ireland. Oh, rare, shy specimens, difficult to obtain, and so on. Javers, who had been a collector, is a miraculously ignorant man. Read these paragraphs and swore he would have the thing at any price. Rated the dealers with inquiries. It shows what a man can do by persistence, willpower. Here was a bird collector, swearing that he would have a specimen of a bird that did not exist and never had existed, and which, for very shame of its own profane ungainliness, probably would not exist now if it could help itself, and he got it. Oh, he got it. Have some more whiskey, Bellows? Said the taxidermist, rousing himself from a transient contemplation of the mysteries of willpower and the collecting turn of mind, and replenished. He proceeded to tell me of how he concocted a most attractive mermaid, and how an inherent preacher who could not get an audience because of it smashed it because it was idolatry, or worse, at Burslem wakes. But as the conversation of all the parties of the transaction, creator, would-be preserver, and destroyer, was uniformly unfit for publication, this cheerful incident must still remain unprinted. The reader, unacquainted with the dark ways of the collector, may perhaps be inclined to doubt my taxidermist, but so far as great auks, eggs, and the bogus stuffed birds are concerned, I find that he has the confirmation of distinguished ornithological writers. And the note about New Zealand birds certainly appeared in the morning paper of an unblemished reputation, for the taxidermist keeps a copy and has shown it to me. Well, let's see. End of that story. Why did I even bother reading that? Why don't we go down to the smoking room and review what we just read? Oh, haha, I beat you. My knees are fine now. I got here before you did, because I got great, healthy knees. Okay, well, we read this story without any farting. Speaking of fake birds, my wife's birds that she keeps here in the smoking room, they all have lung cancer. Why don't you take that baboon skull there on that coffee table, take the cap off the top, and you'll see that it's filled with cigarettes. Why don't you have one? As we ruminate over what the hell we just read, kind of nothing. It was, now that I'm kind of sick of this show, so I'm just kind of reading small, like, short stories, and I found a website that has a bunch of them, just kind of getting a lot of crap. So, this one is just about a taxidermist that makes fake birds. Yeah. So, and he's, making fake birds, so he's a jerk. It's not exactly F for fake, but whatever. I didn't. Elton from Elton Reads a Book a Week said, hey, I know you hate your show. Why don't we start a show together? So he did. He literally came up with the whole concept of basically 2 books in 1 cup, and you come with 2 books and you argue over which one's better. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. And he goes, you don't even have to do books. It could be anything, just the concept of something, like a child's laughter versus Fahrenheit 451. And I was like, okay, I like it even more. So we've been doing that, and it's been a lot of fun. And I thought, oh my God, I don't have to do this show so often anymore. And so then we were going to record this weekend, but it didn't work out. And so now, then my wife and I have a whole different show, Masterpiece Auditorium, where we take really bad books, usually like horrible shifter romance kind of things, and then we talk about them as if they're really good books. And I was like, oh man, between these 2 things, I'll never have to do this goddamn show again. And so I was really excited. And then we recorded a couple of the 2 books, 1 cup, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is good, this is great. And then and I was like, hey, you know what, this weekend let's kick out a bunch of episodes because we're going to Germany again, and so we'll have some stuff. And so then but then the book that my wife and I read is actually turned out to be good, so we can't make fun of it. So I'm like, well, I guess we're not recording anything because it's actually like heartfelt and sad. And then it's like, and we couldn't record for the 2 books, 1 cup. And so now here I am. The whole point is here I am doing one of these turds. I gotta figure out something better. This story was, I guess, fine. A taxidermist who lies about fake birds. Did it really add anything to your life? When you get done listening to this episode, you're like, yeah, that story really touched me. No, it didn't touch you in any way, shape, or form. It's just a study on people who suck. So with that, thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll never see you again. Well, it appears you found me in the part of the podcast I hate the most, where I tell you all about the places on the internet where you can find me. You can tell I hate this because of the sound effects making it sound like a stormy night in the drawing room of the damned. Now, are you cool? I like cool people. It's the reason why I got involved in this business to begin with, just to meet cool people, not losers. So if you're cool, feel free to go over to my website, nuzzlehouse.com. But if you go there, you get to hear some of the other stuff that I and my wife work on, like the Radio Mystery Theater show, where we try to recreate the same show that used to be on in the 70s, but they don't make any episodes anymore. So we make our own, and we just steal all their commercials. And also, Just Stay in the Curious Mind, we made a Christmas album. If you go to our link tree, you can see that we made a Christmas album. It's the first thing we did after getting married, which I think everyone should do when they get married, is start talking about the Christmas album they're going to make. And since I think you might be cool, you can always just email me directly, glenn.nuzzles@gmail.com. But don't email if you're a nerdlinger or a dork. Now, back to business. I can't believe I drank all of them already. There's got to be one left.